I actually girded my loins and went online and looked for a puppy class today. I decided to do Dogs Trust because I think they're reliable. They should have kind, reward-based methods. So I tried to book a class, but unfortunately because the location I want and being a puppy class, and also it's an evening or it's a Saturday morning, and I don't really fancy having to get up early every Saturday morning. We've already established that I'm not a morning person, so I don't fancy getting up on every Saturday morning. So I want to try an evening class, and the only date that I could start on in August, it's the end of July now, the only date I could start in August, it doesn't work because we have to get up the next day really, really early, like probably 3 o'clock in the morning, to travel to a medical appointment at 9 o'clock near London. And that was the only time slot they could offer us. And we've been waiting, and it's important. So that's immovable. That can't be got around. So there's no way that I want to be, basically I'll have to be asleep the night before. We're having to adjust our sleeping schedule. Yeah, so I can't be 8 o'clock at night the night before attending a puppy class, so I'm going to have to delay it a bit more, and it looks like it's not going to be till September, which is a pain. I'm going to have to try and really make an effort and do some training at home and go to locations, interesting, distracting locations, and try and do some training there and try and do some training with other dogs around and all that kind of thing that she will get from classes. I'm going to have to try and factor that in before then, or I'm going to have to look for another class and do the whole checking them out and going and attending, watching, a class. So, I don't know. I feel a bit dispirited and it's late at night, and no, it's not even that late at night, but I'm tired. So yeah, I feel a little bit dispirited tonight and a bit, I think I'm aware that I need to get a move on and get this training class sorted. There we go. But it's, worst things happen at sea, as they say. Mustn't grumble. So, yeah. But Diamond's had a nice day. She's been really, really beautiful at times, really affectionate and lovely, and she is blossoming. More and more of the day is she's nice, and she's, when I say nice, I don't mean she's necessarily being sort of obedient or anything like that, but she's just, if she's on her lap, she's not biting us. If she's on the floor, she's not biting Missy. She's maybe changed something that she should or shouldn't have, or, and obviously we distract her and try and get her to have something she should have. But basically, she's not biting one of us more of the time. So everything's paying off and having the effect we wanted. And I hope that some training will help that effect. Will sort of reinforce that in many ways, because listening and following directions will help that impulse control thing and work her brain and tire her out. And it's, it's just, she can't run around and be a puppy all her life. Can she? Please tell me she can't run around and be a puppy all her life. Diamond is a very endearing, affectionate dog. She's very cute. She's very cute to look at, and she's very cute by nature as well. She has been very full-on and energetic and bitey. We know that, and that's been established. But quite early on, she really came to like little Zoom Zoom toys. They're not dog toys, but we don't leave her on her own with them, and she's not hard-mouthed enough to tear them apart and do herself any damage. I'm not recommending that you give your dog Zoom Zooms. It's a little Disney toy. It's got, I think they're bean bag type things in there, but neither of our dogs are hard-mouthed enough to tear them open and do themselves any damage. And as I say, we supervise them with them. Anyway, that's the safety warnings out of the way. Early on, she came to really like these Zoom Zooms, and she expressed a preference for playing with them, especially a little Dalmatian Zoom Zoom, like from 101 Dalmatians. So she's loved this, and she gets it in her mouth, and when she's in her pen, she gets the little Dalmatian in her mouth and jumps upon the bars of the pen, like, pick me up, because she came to realise that there was something special about this this Dalmatian being in her mouth that made us more likely to pick her up. One of the things is it just looks cute that she's holding this little toy. The other thing is that it actually meant she couldn't bite us. So we and Mischief are more inclined to interact with her when she's got this little toy in her mouth. And she's learned, I don't think she understands why, but she has learned that the toy in her mouth gives her more chance of being picked up or played with or interacted with. So she started doing that, and so she's done that for a while. And that's a really sweet thing, that she clearly wants to interact with us. She clearly wants to be nice to us. She doesn't want to bite us and annoy us and end the interaction. She wants to prolong the interaction and have fun with us. And so that's really sweet. It's visually sweet, but it's also, I think, it shows her intelligence and there is a sweet nature in there. And she wants to cooperate and be part of the family. So that's really sweet. Obviously it looks really sweet because it's a little black and white Dalmatian toy, and it really matches with her black and white, although she's a tricolour, but it matches with her black and white, and it looks really, really sweet. So that's, it's just one of the... She does 100 things like that you just think, oh, you're so lovely, you are gorgeous. But I've said this before, but I just think she is high drive, she is high energy, however you want to put it, intelligent. She's just full of go. And if you don't give that the right outlet for a start, you're going to have, I have problems. But also, whatever you do, I think she is the kind of dog who is going to do everything with all her heart and soul and all her energy and really commit and do whatever she's doing. She's really doing what she's doing, whatever that is. And if that happens to be being a puppy and the cussedness of puppyhood, then she's going to do that with all her energy and all her heart and soul and energy. And that's been the problem we've had. It means, I think, in the long run, she's going to be a smashing dog. She's going to be a fun dog to be, to train and work with. And she's already showing that she's so affectionate and lovely at times. It's just that she's still at that stage where she can't quite control the biting and it's only puppy nibbling, it's not like nasty biting, but we're still at a time where sometimes it just tips into that, particularly when she is tired and, so it's just, one of those things. I think all babies develop at their own, when I say babies, I mean human babies, dog babies, all babies develop at their own speed. And if you look at all their capabilities, all their abilities, they'll be ahead in some things and behind in others and average in others. But the graph of all the abilities and the traits, if you like, shows variation, but they'll roughly be in the same place. That's a huge sweeping generalism. But in general, for most people, for most of us, that's how it seems to be. So that if you have a baby, a human baby, who walks early, then they might not be as able verbally. If you have a baby that talks early, they might not be as able, not as able, but they might not walk as early. Because if they can get on their own feet and walk to something, they don't need to say to you, could you fetch that for me? And equally, if they can say, excuse me, would you mind fetching that for me? They don't have to get on their own feet and walk to it. So it just, we're all different. our brains function differently. And so it just happens like that. We all develop in our own quirky way and find ways of getting what we want. And what works for me doesn't work for you, and what works for you doesn't work for me sometimes. And I think it's the same with dogs. So we will get there. Like I say, with I've said this before, when we had Mischief, one of the fights we had was, oh my goodness, trying to get this tiny little dog to eat enough. Now, that hasn't been an issue at all with Diamond. I was all ready to sort of, start tempting her with tasty bits and pieces. And she's doing no bother eating at all. She's just wolfed down everything we could put in front of her and everything she could get in front of. She's been no bother at all with eating. But, you know, they're all like us. Dogs are individuals. And so that's Diamond's little quirks. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
This has been the inane ramblings of a puppy owner with Julie Hill and sometimes with Diamond the Papillon and often with Mischief the German Spitzklein. You can find our regular podcasts at dogcastradio.com. And if you have a dog, whatever you're going through with your dog, I'd love to hear from you.